Welcome to the Fantasy Happy Hour. Fantasy Happy Hour. Presented by Sportsneak. With your hosts, Justin Sauce and Terry Licious. Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. There we go. Big Thursday nighter. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers 1-1. The Cleveland Browns 1-1. And the Cleveland Browns coming off of a big L to the New York Jets. Holy crap, what a game. Steelers also coming off an L to the Pats. Not as much of a game, but still exciting nonetheless for Steeler and Pats fans. Diving right into this one, Taryn, let us know what you got.
Wow, this has got a barn burner of a total 38.5. I mean, that's some of the lowest you'll see all season. That's pretty crazy to me. And then the dog pound's getting, I think it's 5-point favorites right now. So, Cleveland Browns looking like the favorite here. This is a real change of pace for Thursday nighters as far as they went. These teams historically play a lot of defense, and these two are kind of rivals because they're division. This is a division game in what is set to be a tight division with the Bengals kind of slipping 2 away early. So this is kind of a key win for both these guys. This tends to be a hard-hitting, fun affair to watch. These are very devoted fan bases. So this usually is a good game, even if it's low scoring. You already mentioned what happened last week, but I kind of dove into the history of these two. So last year, it was Steelers took both games 26-14, 15-10. And in the one game, the Steelers had 10 sacks. So if we look back to that, there was 10-4 is what I saw, or 9-4. So lots of sacks and for the Steelers defense, although that Steelers defense did lose Mr. Watt, which is a kind of a big loss for their pass rush. So I don't expect it to be the same defense. So I'm going to dive in like I did last week. Running backs. This is probably where you're looking in this game. This is two teams that rely very heavily on their running backs. So Najee Harris last year, 28 for 188 and 1, and 26 for 91 and 1, and he got 40 through the air in one of those games. He was basically the bell cow for this matchup. And if you look, they didn't have much pass game in either of those games. So I don't know if they lean back to this. He's kind of came out to a slow start. And with Trubisky not really adding any flair through the air, they can definitely defend the run a lot better. And the Browns D has been, shutting down running backs. CMC didn't get anything going in their first game. And then the pretty good tandem in New England got nothing really on the ground. So it seems like the Browns have actually flipped, the Steelers have actually flipped there. So I had mixed these teams up now, but the Browns had mixed or shut down CMC. So maybe look to that because, maybe this is Najee Harris's game, but I don't really love that play because this doesn't seem like the best matchup. It actually seems better through the air. And then on the other side, it's probably the two best guys on the Browns, which is, Nick Chubb and Hunt. Hunt didn't play both those games last season, but, Chubb so far this season, 228 rush yards, 3 TDs last game. Hunt had 2 TDs in the first game. So of the Browns' total 6 touchdowns this season, 5 of them have came from their 2 running backs. So I think we can look for more of that. I think you can double stack those 2. I think you at least have to take one. They lean on this run game, and I think that's just the move for the Browns. Both these quarterbacks are kind of like these. This is one of those weeks where you could fade both. You could play one. Either of them, they're both kind of backup quarterbacks in my opinion. So Trubisky and Brissett here. And of course, Brissett is the backup currently. He's just waiting for Deshaun to come back, I believe. So I don't think that just makes the passing game so much worse. So if you go to wide receiver and start looking at it again, it's tough. I mean, there's one guy that's pretty clearly there, and that's Amari Cooper, number one guy on the Browns side. There's they can get beat by speedy wideouts. Jamar Chase beat them, lift them up in week 1, I think it was. So maybe you can add him to that stack. Peoples-Jones, he's that guy that can do a one deep ball and kind of get you the points you need in this. And then if you try to go deeper, you're looking at cheap guys here. That guy named Bell, I think, is their 3rd ranked wide receiver. So I would think you'd go to tight ends first here because they have 2 pretty good tight ends there in the Browns, and Njoku and Harrison Bryant. So those are both good plays. Steel Nation's receivers have came out flat. Deontay Johnson got 57 or 67 yards last week. Claypool's done really nothing. This is the area though to attack the Browns. So maybe this is the opening you need. A Flacco put up 4 and a rookie wide receiver got, 2 of those. So I like going to George Pickens maybe as like an alternative, get that double rookie back to back, beating the Browns through the air. So outside of that, the wide receiver pool is not as deep. So that's where you'll find some cheap options, in my opinion. Yeah, but the tight ends here, I love Freiermuth. I think he's one of the best plays in this game. Got a TD last week. He's a good safety blanket for Trubisky, who's gonna, need something as a cushion. And then, the other two are kind of the next best passing options outside of Murray Cooper on the Browns. So last week we saw Murray go for over 100 and a touchdown, but then the next 2 top receivers were Njoku and Harrison Bryant. So you can go to the tight ends as your fill there outside of the running game. And then both defenses here are in play. I think that both these quarterbacks aren't good enough to, warrant not trying some defenses out. So, take your shots on that. So I'll pass it back for the kickers because this did prove to be a very good kicking matchup last year. So,
yeah, going over to the double doink here. We'll go on to the Brown side of the ball first. We got the rookie Cade York averaging 11 fantasy points in the first 2 games, which is by kicker standards above average. Of course, that's split into between 16 points the first game, which is great in that high octane matchup. Last game though, only 6. He was put in a tough situation where he missed that extra field goal. However, a lot of people saying he should have never been in that situation in the first place because if Chubb takes the knee and runs the clock out, Browns might have won 24-17. So he's definitely the choice if you're going to look at kickers. On the other side of the ball, Chris Boswell, 11 fantasy points per game too, tied. Same output, but just looking at the games and the upside of the kicking game, I'm going over to a Cade York there, just kind of replicating that first week where it was 16 fantasy points for him, just the higher upside there. And then diving into a little bit of a sneaky pick there, and he kind of touched a little bit on David Bell, the 2022 third round pick out of Purdue here, $2,100. So big cheap option when you're going to be double stacking probably the running backs, adding in the wide receiver or the tight end combos here. Again, it's a huge gamble. He only got 1 target, caught it last week, nothing in week 1. He's only been on for 28% of the snaps, whereas Peoples Jones and Amari Cooper, I think they got 54 or 52 last week. So the only reason to potentially play this would be, Taryn, you mentioned the Steelers stifling the running backs. If Brissett is looking for another option, it might be finally targeting this the rookie here. So again, a bit more of a gamble, but if you're looking to be different and you're playing multiple lineups, might be a choice to look out for at a highly valuable option. Anything else to add into this one, Taryn?
I think if you want to be different, go away from the defenses and play this like it will be high scoring. This game was on an island, I think not last season, but the season before. And there was a game that went like 44-38. So it did happen. And it was on an island game, which, those are the types of lineups you're going to get low ownership and win a showdown contest. The defenses, I'm guessing, in this one are going to ride 30% both sides. So just be aware you can take that route. Just know that it might be just not very good or very good. So
perfect. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are doing good in the fantasy so far this year. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment of who you're taking or what your thoughts are for this game. And if you really enjoy the content, subscribe, help us out. We're, I think, 11 or 12 away from 200 now. Big leagues, baby. Peace.